Hello, everyone. I hope all of you can hear me clearly. My name is Dana Pretorius, and I'm so excited to have all of you here at the SAICA and SAIPA Training Open Day of Outsourced CFO. We're just going to give some time for last few delegates to just join in before I start with my presentation. But thank you so much for the participation. It's so great to see so many of you joining in and to hear where all of you are from. We are just under 200 program delegates for this event. So I'm really excited to take you through the Outsourced CFO presentation. So yeah, a little bit more about me. I'll be facilitating today's session. I'm one of the directors and co-founders of Outsourced CFO, and I've been directly involved with setting up the SAICA and SAIPA training offices at Outsourced CFO. So we're so keen to have all of you here in this session. If I can just ask of you just to keep your cameras off and mute yourself while I'll be taking you through the presentation. Wonderful. I'm just seeing the last few people being admitted to today's session. If it's then all right, I see it's just after 1. I'm now going to climb into my presentation. I'm really so excited to take you through this. We've really invested a lot in our SAICA training programs and our culture at Outsourced CFO. So really looking forward to take you through this. So sit back and enjoy the presentation. And what we'll also do is we'll create the opportunity to also do breakouts for Q&A with all of you. Perfect. Just quickly opening up my presentation here. Admitting last few people. There we go. Perfect. So Outsourced CFO, who is Outsourced CFO? Outsourced CFO is a financial management boutique of chartered accountants and other financial professionals. We prioritize all things cloud accounting and advisory for our clients, and we've been in operation for the last 8 years. So this is our team, this is our family. As you guys can see, we're very young and ambitious. We really enjoy working with entrepreneurs and to learn from each other. There below, you'll see our values. Our values are switch on thinking. We love to work with people that switch on. We believe to be excellent in everything. We really prioritize growth and success and family first. It's so important for us that we everyone is well balanced and that we care of each other as a family, and integrity really matters for us when we're dealing with our clients, when we are taking extreme ownership on engagements. So this is me, Dana Pretorius. Some of my strengths are that I'm very strategic, very futuristic. I also really love developing people. So you will see me playing a big role as an HR director at our firm, as well as being the SAIPA evaluator, as well as the SAICA training officer, as well as assessor there. I love all things strategy and all things fundraising, and I've been doing that for quite a while. So a lot of learnings that I would love to share on all things fundraising for all of you in this session. Another important person that I would love to just introduce to you is Uwais Asmal. He's our head of our advisory services team. So for all of you applying for the SAICA training office, SAICA training office, you will be working underneath Uwais and learning from him with his amazing fundraising skill sets and skill sets working with clients from an advisory point of view. Then for all of you SAIPA applicants and looking to further your career as a professional accountant, there's an opportunity to work at Outsourced CFO on our cloud accounting department, working underneath our cloud accounting manager, Rian Victor, who is also a champion in all things cloud accounting and a lot of learnings there with that regard as well. Just to introduce some friendly faces here on the screen, all of them are also on this call today. Might have received emails from Durai van der Merwe. She's our HR manager, and she also facilitates this amazing journey with each of you. Then on the call we have also got Alexandra McLaren. She's one of our SAICA trainees with one of the breakout rooms. She's also going to join me there. And then obviously my fellow director, one of my fellow directors, Jacques Legrancy, who also plays a very big role in our cloud accounting department and take a very, very sincere interest in our trainees. Then on this call, we also have Louis Scott, who will also be joining Jock with the SAIPA training breakout room. Perfect. Moving on to my next slides. Right. So starting with the end in mind. So obviously this is why you guys are here. Some of you are in your honors years at university. Some of you are just starting out with universities and are just exploring, what the training office options are out there, So starting with the end in mind, I'm here to say that Outsourced CFO has a SAICA training office. I'm just hearing some background noise. Perfect. Thank you so much. Starting with the end in mind, Outsourced CFO has a SAICA training office. Just to let all of you know, we are open for taking in our 2022 intakes. We are looking for next year to take 3 intakes in. Very important, if you're familiar with the SAICA electives and competencies, we follow financial management, main elective route, not an auditing route. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that in the separate breakout room. And then, so intakes for this is February 2022 and articles closing date is Jan 2025. So all of you that enrolled for this session today, when you RSVP, we've prompted you, are you interested in the SAIPA or the SAICA training office? And just to let you know, we've used that initial questionnaire to put you in a breakout room after my initial intro. So some of you will be joining my fellow director, Jacques Lagrange, and some of you will be following me in a breakout room. So really excited for that, because we're also then going to open up the floor for all of you to ask some questions about the programs and about Outsourced CFO. So end in mind, SAICA training office. But we've also got openings open for the SAIPA training office. Very exciting. This so we are open for intakes for 2022, but that shouldn't stop you if you are in the market already and you are considering joining us for our SAIPA route. Then do reach out to us. Duray's kind of highlight the channels how to reach out to us, because we're even open to take in SAIPA trainees sooner than Jan 2022. Perfect. So the agenda for today, me just doing the welcome in tone setting. I'll be introducing Outsourced CFO as well as our training programs, and then we're going to look at the breakout rooms, and then Duray, our HR managers, is going to look at how to apply for all of you that's interested, and then we're going to wrap up today's session and with a big thank you. But big thank you for all of you just being in this session. I love it that you guys are taking extreme ownership about your careers and just finding out more about what's out there to make the most of your careers. So yes, without further ado, I'm climbing into my presentation. So what we've experienced in Outsourced CFO, working with so many small and scaling businesses, are that it's extremely difficult for these businesses to scale optimally, because it's so difficult for them to navigate this complex field of company finance. A lot of them are running into cash flow problems, especially with the effect that COVID had on businesses. A lot of them have inferior financial systems and technologies, which means that a lot of errors creep in and a lot of human interventions is required. A lot of them aren't having optimal sessions with their stakeholders, with their shareholders, with their directors. Most of them don't even know how to interpret their own finances, and this really almost like prevent these entrepreneurs to really scale optimally. And that's exactly where Outsourced CFO comes in. We understand private companies. We understand what's necessary for them to unlock growth, and that's exactly where we come in and help them. So a little bit, some of milestones for Outsourced CFO over the last 8 years. We've really been able to put something amazing together, amazing business, and it's bigger than ourselves. Every new person that joins contribute to our culture. We've got some really exciting clients that we work with, some very tech savvy, innovative business model clients that we work with, big corporates that we work with as well. Because in our company culture, because we're so young and ambitious, we've got really talented professionals that work at Outsourced CFO, and we really try to build an environment where our staff members can flourish. And continuous learning and switch on thinking is so important for us. So we really try to be on the forefront of the trends, of how the finance industry is changing. So we're really early adopters with that. And we really try to differentiate ourselves from your traditional accounting firms, and we've implemented very cool systems and operations just to make our staff members' life easier, and our clients just to have an amazing experience when working with us. And so this is our board. These are all also of some of my best friends. We've been in university together almost 15 years ago, and we've started this business together. And each of them really has a heart for Outsourced CFO and its people. And there's so much to learn from each of these fine gentlemen from a board perspective. So Outsourced CFO, our successes wouldn't have been able without having the right people on the bus and having the right people at OCFO. So yeah, currently we've got 30 full-time staff members. We've also got 15 freelance finance professionals that we work with on an ad hoc basis, with so much experience in, between all of these finance professionals. So very interesting. We follow a remote second digital culture. What does that mean? In today's time and age, with COVID and everything, it might be a little bit difficult to work from office. We've got amazing offices, but so we've implemented a remote second culture, which means we prioritize meeting face to face, but we're also flexible on working remotely for our team members. So we've got permanent office workers that prefer to work from office. We've got remote workers that work from Johannesburg, Bloemfontein, Pretoria, Jeffreys Bay, you name it. And then we've got also this amazing community of freelancers, these 15 CAs that we also work with on bigger projects. So we've got a really diverse team working at Outsourced CFO. That being said, we also got very nice offices at Outsourced CFO. So if you guys ever want to come say hi there, we can obviously schedule a physical office visit there. And with COVID enabling us for everyone to get their vaccinations, we're also very eager to start making some move to the office, but still being offer the flexibility of working remotely. So if you're considering working at Outsourced CFO in a traineeship, and you're not based in Cape Town, then, talk to us. We might be flexible on your location, if we can guarantee great internet for you. So the finance industry has changed. All of you are studying at university, and your curriculum is based on best accounting practices. But the business environment is changing at such a high speed, which means accounting has really gone digital. And it's so important for your future career success to position yourself and equip yourself to be familiar with all these cloud-based accounting softwares to ensure that you're not irrelevant in the job market. So accounting has gone digital. Some of you might be familiar with Xero as a cloud accounting software. Information and platform and even the way how tax is processed has gone very digital, with a lot of these softwares integrating with each other. And there's, for every type of industry, business industry that you can imagine, there's a dedicated app for that. If you work with inventory, there's an app for that. If you in retail, there's an app for that. If you've got a website with the e-commerce payment plugin, there's apps for that. And all of these apps talk with each other. So it's not just no longer about accounting anymore. It's about these workflow processes that integrate with each other, the bigger picture of it all. And here at Outsourced CFO, we really position ourselves to really understand a business finance function, as well as the operational function, just to not just do the accounting, but really look at from the beginning to end, what's their client buyer's journey, and how do their processes integrate with each other, from having a website to having a shop, to how inventory is managed, to how the accounting is done, how payroll is done, and how the creditors are done. So I think that's definitely a differentiating factor at OCFO, where we are differentiating ourselves there from other training offices, where we've got a big emphasis on all things cloud. So big on technology, big on cloud tech, so that there will be a lot of emphasis on training you up on these softwares, so that you can use it and become champions on it as well. A little bit on our service offering. We've got our CFO services that's focused a lot on advisory services. So for the SAICA training office, a lot of US trainees will work under the CFO department. And to give you a little bit of idea, we help a lot of clients with their fundraising journeys and helping them to fundraise. Over the last 8 years, cumulatively, we've helped our clients to raise more than R1 billion in funding from various sources of funding. So that's very great skill sets to obtain, and there's a lot of training for our trainees in that. We package our advisory services typically in retainers, like a outsourced CFO. That's where the name comes from. We're outsourcing the CFO function, the Chief Financial Officer function, and we're basically making chartered accountants available to these scaling businesses at affordable rates. It's almost like, why own the cow when you can get the milk for free? They don't have to appoint their full-time CFO or chartered accountant. They can work with Outsourced CFO, where we have a retainer with them, and we can scale it up and down as their business need it. So it's a very, very interesting, attractive a business model, and our clients really love working with us. Moving to the accounting and secretarial and tax departments at Outsourced CFO, we also have built an amazing cloud account with their accounting and tax needs as well. More to be elaborated on this when Jock and Louis do the breakout room for the session. We've standardized our packages, and we train up all our trainees to work with our clients on these amazing softwares and have trainees to grow in this. And be assured that you won't be thrown into the deep end. There's a very detailed onboarding process, making sure that you feel part of the tree, and incrementally you'll be get exposed into your duties with quality control, someone else reviewing your work on that. So it's a great environment to grow your own skill sets. Something that we're very excited about is that we also are doing corporate programs, so big programs. So one of our clients is Investec, a very big bank, and we do these finance readiness programs, which takes the form of a 6 to 8 months accelerator, where we typically take a cohort of 10 entrepreneurs into a fundraising journey, where we raise funding for the entrepreneurs, where we really help them to build financial models, do company valuations, help them with their due diligence pack, helping them with the investor pitch decks, you name it, and in the end, hopefully, help them to get money in the bank from funding. So really playing that catalyst there, something that we're very strong in doing. This is specifically also applicable for the SAICA training office, might be a little bit less applicable to the SAIPA trainees. Another example of some of the programs where we take 60 entrepreneurs and help them to their journey, where we structure deals for them. Yeah, this is just an example of a client that we would work with. A client like Mr. Tebogo would come to us. He's in the vegetable cut industry. He's offering veggie cutting up to some of the bigger retailers, your Pick and Pays and your Spars outlets, and we really want to help Mr. Tebogo to scale his business. So sitting with him, we're able to really look at what it will require to scale him optimally. We've realized that he only has one bakkie, which vehicle that he needs to pick up fresh produce, preventing him to increase his geographical area, because he can't do deliveries to his clients, as well as do the pickups, because he's limited on the distance that he can drive. Some of his veg cutting is done manually, for instance, and just bringing in some machinery that can increase his capacity in cutting more veggies, and bringing in that, as well as bringing in increasing the shelf life of his vegetables from an inventory point of view. So really sitting with an entrepreneur like this and looking at what is required to take this business to the next level. It's a good idea of how we would typically work with a client. Yeah, so in short, we've got three main focus there. Would be on the SAICA trainees, the cloud accounting services, for the SAIPA trainees, the SAICA trainees, a big focus. You will also work in the cloud accounting services department, because you need to be able to sign off your own, to be able to compile your own annual financial statements, a very great skill to have. And then we've got this app integrations, this tech arm, where we're also doing a lot of cloud tech solutions for our clients. So I'm not going to focus too much on the rest of the slides, because I'm very keen that we move to the breakout rooms. But when we approach any business, we look at this financial hierarchy of needs. Any business need to have this pyramid in place in the business. We always start with the basics. Level 1, accurate basic financial information. Can we rely on the financial information? If we can't, then we can't make informed decisions to help the client grow. So that's very important for us. When we look at compliance and assurance, there's so many compliance as a business: compliance with the Companies Act, compliance with SARS, compliance with the labor law. So really helping our clients with that. Standard operating procedures, business contingencies, stuff might go wrong. What happens if there's theft in the business? So really looking at the business, the type of industry risk, strategy risk, people risk, legal risk, and really helping our clients to put process in place that will mitigate these risks in their business. Automation, really looking at the business might be perhaps an easier way how to scale them and take away human tasks and automate it. So really looking holistically at the whole finance function. 5, 6, and 7 is obviously more advanced advisory work, but it's almost like all things budgeting, cash flow forecasting, financial statement analysis for entrepreneurs, improving the layout of management reports. These founders and ambitious entrepreneurs aren't necessarily like us finance people. They love to look at graphs, and we need to be able to interpret these graphs for them and sit into meetings and facilitate their cash flow and cash flow forecasting and do scenario testing. So a lot of these sessions, this gives you a very good idea of how we typically approach a client from a strategic point of view, where they are now, where they want to be in a few years' time, and really helping our clients to grow their businesses. So that's in short a little bit about our services. Our client verticals: we work with corporates from anything from 100 million upwards. We work with established businesses, with scale-up businesses, obviously with smaller businesses as well. We've got some very exciting clients that we also work with, a lot of them in the tech space, some very interesting industries that we work with, some disruptive technologies, that telecommunication, digital platforms, green energy. Outsourced CFO, we've won a few awards and recognitions for our innovative business models that we've done. So yeah, all in all, I think if you are considering a place to do your training office articles, then Outsourced CFO would be an amazing place for you to consider doing that. So yeah, that's my intro. What you can expect now is a breakaway session to the different breakout rooms. So if you've selected SAIPA training office, you will be taken to a breakout room with Jacques Legrancy and Louis Scott. We'll be facilitating that session. If you've selected SAICA training office, you will be joining myself and Alex and Duray in a breakout room where I'll be taking you through more detail about the SAICA training office. Thank you so much, and looking forward to connecting with you in the breakout rooms. Brilliant, guys. For the SAICA training office, a group of members, I think time caught up there on us, but we were able to cover the most of the session. Jacques and Duray, is it okay if we also schedule another 3, perhaps get another 3 questions from the floor, because my team hasn't had the opportunity to ask some questions? Would that be all right with you, Duray and Jacques?
Of course, Donna, please.
Perfect. So if there's anyone from our SAICA training office, or anyone from the SAIPA that wants to ask a question, and now's your time. If you chance, you can feel free to use the message chat box, and then I'll try and direct it. There's a question here from Botlatle, SAIPA PE exams. I'm assuming you're considering the SAICA training office on that. Yes, there is something called prior learning that can be considered for that, but we're going to have to look into that from a case-by-case basis. There's a question here for the remuneration for the CA trainees. What I can say is we go into those discussions on a one-on-one with the trainees, but I can say we remunerate our CAs market related. So if that's very important for you, rest assured that we do come to the table. Then there's another question from Chepu. okay, a little bit on workload when it's the busy seasons, you know, compared to auditing. So when you're doing your articles, there's different like rhythms of seasonality when it's important. You know, you have VAT for your clients needs to be submitted on either a monthly or bi-monthly basis. So the last week of the month is typically a sprint. The first week of a month you need to do your payroll tax, so that's typically a sprint. You know, and you also your payroll tax reconciliations. That's typically in May month that typically have to happen. Your tax deadlines are provisional tax is August. End of the year tax is typically February. So you have those sprints. But other than that, all the other advisory work is scheduled over the year. So you'll be exposed to a lot of training. I'm just going to look at one or two more questions before I give over to Duray, so that you guys know how to apply. Okay, there's a question. This is going to be my last question. Is asking, I see Xero is the system of choice. Do we get exposed to others like SAP and Sage? Guys, Xero is the cloud accounting software of the future. We're very big on it. We don't focus on any of the other ones. We're even telling clients that's not willing to go on Xero that we're not going to take them on as clients. That's how big we are on what we believe in Xero. Xero Sage is very similar to that software, and so you won't get exposure in softwares like SAP on that. Only our very senior CAs with 10 or 15 years of industry experience would typically work with the SAP clients from a corporate point of view. So think, if you see yourself in the future, do yourself a favor, go Google everything Xero, Xero. Just see what they're doing in the market globally. They're expanding in the United States, in the UK, in South Africa, and Singapore. You know, this is a global software, and it's good for you to be familiated with the software that's relevant for the future. That then wraps up my session and the Q&A session. I'm going to give over to Duray van der Merwe. Duray, if I can give the floor over.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much also for leading a great open day today. Sure, together with Jock and Sino and Louis and Alex and Bradley. Thanks, team. I also saw some familiar faces and names in the group. I also see a lot of new names, and I'm excited about all of that. Guys, thanks for showing interest in Outsourced CFO. We are so happy to have you here and online with us this afternoon.